we're all speaking the same language and all working on ourselves, it'd be great. What is it? 2.0. Because there's a test you can take online. How many clients and coaches do you have frequency of contact with? One of the things I learned is about a relationship and negotiating. There's brightness of future, if you're together and you're going to have a relationship, darkness of future, if you're not, and frequency of contact in a relationship. So think about the clients you have, how many are actually coaching with you out of the actual clients that are ordering that you have. That is a result of the relationship you built, right? And what about coaches? Are they regularly coaching with you? In some cases, their ego is not ready to move out of the way. So they've got their own concepts to move through. But if your coaches and your clients, and there's a pattern, whose responsibility it is probably to work on themselves? You figure you guys could probably do, and I would ask my coach, what are the areas that you think I need to move forward in? Communication, asking questions. And I would start with my friends and family too. Do you guys think that they would be a pretty good, honest barometer of how you listen and how you communicate? Yeah? I would do that. So we're about to go into the second part, but that means I've been doing a lot of work on learning about systems and how to turn my experience with the people that I'm working with into a conversation. To be interested in someone versus interesting. So what I've also learned, because this is all my life before trauma and drama. That's what that's how I live. I actually think that I create stuff in my mind sometimes because we have such a great life. Just to go back to that energy, trauma and drama. But I love this. Nothing happens without personal transformation. Did you guys agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's necessary. So to frame up the next part, because you've heard that, right? Current reality is an acquired taste. So when I was trauma and drama, trying to coach people, do you think I put my stuff into it when I was asking questions? Directing them, clouding it. What I love about, I had Robert Fritz written at the bottom. This is one of his audios, and Robert Fritz is, oh, there it is, it's at the top. Everyone familiar with Robert Fritz?
Yes.
So the reason I have this here is because I want to prepare everybody for what we're about to do. If you put yourself in the mirror, let's say I'm trying to help you break through something, or I'm trying to coach and support you, and I have an opinion about something that you shared with me, and I share it with you. How does that make you feel if it's not aligned with what you're trying to share? Do you feel like you're moving forward, or could you be pushing back? If somebody's trying to put their stuff in, I guess is how I'm trying to share that. I feel like when you can get clean questions, you've got power. When your friends are asking you questions, can you feel the difference between if they're attached to what your outcome is or your answer versus if they're not? How many people have made a client feel guilty? Because you were like, come on, how come you haven't called me back? I saw a few people. We're not alone. So that's what this workshop's going to be about, is how do you ask questions clean? How do I ask questions from somebody, repeat back to them in their words what I heard them say without inserting Whitney's needs and beliefs? So how do I do that? So is everybody familiar with structural dynamics? The process with Robert Fritz, you have a blank slate. Come with a blank slate. We all close our eyes. Let's do that together right now, actually, because we're about to switch into the next section. So take a deep breath. Okay. Let's release everything, because this is how we want to come into trying to guide someone through what their reality is. How many people in the room were excited when they realized that their mind was a mess? That if they did the trilogy, and you started really getting questions asked at you, and you started looking at your life balance sheet, and it was really bad, how many people remember how uncomfortable that was? You know that thing called kill the messenger? So I'm just trying to frame this up because this is something delicate. We want to be conscious of the fact and intentional. Every time I sit down with somebody, I want to be intentional so I'm not crossing that line, because what could happen if I do? Before we even get along, we're going to break rapport. So I've asked Una Molu to come up and help me. She's your integrated regional director in San Diego. We've been together for 8 years. 8 years. I love her. So we're going to do the role play with the trilogy on how I would take her through as a client. Now, I need the timer for 2 minutes. Who would be willing to help with that?
Right here.
So, okay, so wait until we start. Okay, so I need to take a deep breath. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take her through the trilogy, but like I would if we were sitting down for coffee, or I was over the phone with her, because I do take my girlfriends and I practice this on them, because I want to get good at not inserting myself into their picture. And so what I'm going to do is take her through the process, like I do before. I'm going to go into the, and I'll show you the tools next that I would use, but this is just the client route. You guys are going to do it after, so take good notes. And we're going to do everything we can to get it done in 2 minutes. But if it goes over, we'll cut out some other stuff, because this is really important. Would you guys agree? Yes. To hear this and then to practice it is important? Okay, so hi, Una. Hi, Whitney. How are you doing? Great. So this is Una. How many years ago? 8 years ago. So Una's 8 years ago. And this is not exactly how it happened, but because someone else introduced her to it, but we're gonna play with the numbers she was at before, okay? So how's everything going for you?
Well, it's okay. I'm a little stressed at work. I'm a single mom, 2 kids, 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And, I've been to 5 different doctors. I can't lose any weight, so I'm feeling really fat and frumpy and frustrated.
Thank you. Beautiful setup.
Yeah, but, I have 2 beautiful children, and I'm blessed with that, so, they're my joy.
So you have 2 kids. So you said you have 2 kids, but you're frustrated and you feel frumpy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Una, the reason I asked you to coffee was because I care about you, and I wanted to talk to you and talk to you a little bit about something that I've been involved with for a while. I've become a certified health coach with Take Shape for Life. You remember Greg? He lost 50 pounds in 10 weeks.
Wow!
I know.
Amazing.
But our program is so much more than just helping somebody lose weight. It's a full trilogy. And I wanted to give you an experience with what I do. Would you mind having coffee with me?
I'd love to do that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we're at coffee. So I've invited her because there's an invitation that takes place. So now we're sitting with each other, and I'm going to start with, so I've got the trilogy rule in front of me, and I just gave it to her. Okay, so she has it. So one of the things that we believe in with Take Shape for Life is there's a thread that runs through 3 different areas of our lives: healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And we've chatted, by the way. We've had coffee. It's not like I just jumped right into this, okay? Thank you. Wait, it's 2 minutes. Okay. So the setup took a little bit longer. So we're going to have to just have you guys set up. Well, anyway, so let's go through it. Thank you, David. Helpful. So, Una, can I ask you permission? Because I want to ask you some personal questions. Would you mind going through this process? It's a self-assessment.
No problem. I'm looking at what you have written down here.
I want to give you an experience with what I do as a coach.
Great.
So, with the healthy body, what would you give yourself a score from a 1 to a 10? 10 being you're at your healthy weight, you work out regularly, you're eating right, you're on no medications related to being overweight, you sleep well.
Oh, no, I'm at a 2 here.
Well,
Definitely.
did anybody hear me just say well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you go well.
Guilty.
Okay, so that would not be the way to do it. So you gave yourself a 2?
Yeah. Because I've been up losing weight. Everybody told me it wasn't going to happen. I'm perimenopausal, and I'm just going to have to live with it. So the doctor told me that I have to, listen to him.
Excellent. So you give yourself a 2 with healthy body. Can I ask you about healthy mind? 1 would be, I'm so depressed I can't get out of bed in the morning. 10 would be no stress, time for family, happy and fulfilled, a life of meaning and purpose. You have an impact on society's health, spiritual growth, you have time for that. Volunteer work, I know you like to volunteer and pursue hobbies. Are you traveling a lot?
Not at the moment. But I'm probably a 4 if I'm looking at what you have written down here.
Give yourself a 4 for healthy mind. And I know this one's sometimes uncomfortable for people, but I would like to ask you, just because we believe that they're all connected, a 1 to a 10, what would you give yourself for healthy finances? In California, a 1 would be living in your car.
Okay, not bad.
A 10 would be you're debt-free, education is safe for your kids, you have a robust retirement, you're set, you have a lot of income coming in, maybe even some investments. What would you give yourself a
Well,
score?
you know, I've got a good job, but I'm working 2 jobs because I'm a single mom, so probably maybe a 3 or 4.
Would you say it's a 3 or a 4? Would you like a 3.5?
If I'm looking at your thing, yeah, 3.
3.
Yeah.
So in Take Shape for Life, we focus on the healthy body, the healthy mind, and the healthy finances. And really what I heard you share was with your healthy body, you would give yourself a 2. You've given up losing weight, you're perimenopausal. Doctors have told you that they don't know what really to help you with. And to get started on this journey, that's where I'd like to focus. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
So the next step is I would give her the BMI chart, which if you flip over, you can flip over. So what I want to ask you now, what would it mean, what would need to happen for you to take you from a 2 to, let's say, a 5? What would need to happen to take you from a 2 to a 5 for your healthy body?
I'd have to lose this 35 extra pounds, and I keep putting on weight every month, it seems.
Okay. Excellent. Did you say you sleep okay? I thought I heard you say something.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good with my sleep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so losing 35 pounds would move you from a 2 to a 5.
Yeah.
So can we find you on the BMI chart? Do you see your height on the left?
Mm-hmm.
And then find your weight, and tell me what your BMI is, please.
Oh my goodness, I'm in this like red part.
Where
No,
are you?
in the orange part.
Where are you? Oh, okay, so your BMI is a 28. And if you lost 35 pounds, what would your BMI be?
22.
22. Excellent. Okay. So now you feel clear on where you'd like to go with your health.
Yes.
In order to identify whether or not our program would Take Shape for Life, what Greg lost 50 pounds on, would be a fit for you, I'm going to need to ask you a few more questions. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm not doing this for the time standpoint. Everybody know how to profile a client and then place their order? So was that helpful to see before I have you guys do it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is then ask her a question. Did you feel gotten by the conversation and what I repeated back to you? Do you feel like I got a picture of who and where you were? Honestly.
I did, and only because you repeated back to me exactly what I had told you, because I then owned it, instead of just saying, oh, I'm frustrated with my weight. When you repeated it back to me, I felt heard.
Excellent, yeah, thank you. How many minutes left in this day? Because guess who's next? All right, so 7 minutes for me to do it. Yes, ma'am.
When exactly do you do this? I'm a little unclear.
I take people to coffee to do it. If I go to BNI meetings don't let you present.
Somebody that expressed interest in the program, or?
I asked her to help me practice. I wanted to practice. I became a health coach, and I wanted to sit down with her and give her an experience with what I do. I ask everyone to sit down and have coffee with me to have an experience. I think this is a gift. I think I just gave this woman, whether she walks away, never decides to do the program, I gave her a gift. Knowing where you really are in your life is powerful. Do you agree? Okay, so here's what we're going to do together. Okay, so you can stay up here with me. Actually, we'll have coffee. Can we hold questions for the end, just so we can go through the exercises? So choose A and B. You're sitting next to someone, hopefully, because Ken asked if you would. So look at the person sitting next to you. One person pick A, one person pick B. Okay, so how we're going to do this, please raise your hand if you're an A. Keep it up, please. We want to see who all the A's are. Because A is going to ask the trilogy questions. We're going to stay client focused, but A is going to ask the trilogy questions. Okay, now I need to borrow the timer, David. We're gonna give you 5 minutes, not 2, but it's gonna take the rest of this event for us to get through this. So I'm gonna cut out the rest of what we're gonna talk about. I think this is important, don't you? We'll go over this together at the end. Okay, so before we get started, wait a minute, we're setting the time. So everybody know who A